Now I would like to request Ms. Maya Shahani to say a few words.
Thank you, Chandu. So when Chandraban Ramchandani asked me and Kishore to launch the book, I was so pleasantly surprised and thrilled. I said, Chandraban, why do we deserve this honor? So he said, for us, you've always been the first family for the Amil Panchayat. That humbled me, but it made me think, because I was always told that Amils are the educated class, and we deserve this honor mainly because of my father-in-law, Dada Kishan Chand Maya Shahani, and he was never educated because in childhood, because of a childhood illness, he didn't even pass his 10th standard. He lost his parents when he was just 15 years old. So first he wasn't educated. Secondly, he was into trade, and Amils are supposed to be the professionals and they don't generally go into any business. So I said that, okay, so why does he qualify to be an Amil? And he was one of the most respected Amils, and he became the president of the Khudabadi Amil Panchayat. So that's a question for you, Saaz. How do you, so how do you define an Amil? My niece Shireen Jaktiani, she defined an Amil very well for me. She said the Amil is not by birth. You don't have a right to be an Amil just by birth or because you're educated, because these days most people are educated, so how do we differentiate ourselves? According to her, the Amil is a way of being, it's an ethos. It comes because of generations of that culture that's been imbibed in us, it's in our DNA, and Amil always stands out. You see an Amil and you know that he or she is an Amil. There's something, intangible or not definable that differentiates an Amil. So, I'm really indeed proud to be an Amil, and after holding this book in my hand, and I've gone through the contents of the book, I feel this reinforces my thought that one should be proud to be an Amil. I'm glad there are many young people here, so they should all read this book from cover to cover. Speaking of the cover of the book, the cover is also pretty interesting because the tiles there are from Sachal Sarmat's Dargah. The tiles, I don't know if you really notice, it's a very interesting cover. The tiles are from Sachal, the Sufi saint, his Dargah. The family that you see there, you can see that, her family, if you see them, they come out as so sophisticated. The clothes they're wearing, the men are wearing often green suits. And the women are wearing those Parsi saris, nicely embroidered, maybe they themselves embroidered it. And their shoes are definitely from Paris, as Saaz has mentioned in the book. So the Amils were really very highly cultured. They were sophisticated because of their interactions with the British. They learned a lot from the British. How many of you knew that it was the British who introduced the tikki to the Sindhis? The humble tikki. Potato. The Amils had never tasted a potato before. And when the English were eating these bland potatoes, they said, why not modify it and make it a little bit more interesting? So that's how the Sindhi tikki came out. And the Amils have really learned a lot from the British. But the main thing was the education, the British kind of education, which I don't know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, but that made the Amils, stand out from the crowd. And Saaz has covered this book very well. She's interviewed 49 different families, and her style of, the way she goes about it, it's so meticulous and it's deep research, and you can't get away from her, because when she interviewed me for our family, I told her a few things and she said, but Maya, are you sure this is correct? Because I've done my research. Maybe I was misinformed, but then she corrected me on many occasions. No, but that's good because, it shows that you've done such deep research into every family. So her book is truly authentic and a labor of love. And, I feel that I overheard a conversation between some young people. So one of them was saying that my mother always tells me I should marry a Khudabadi Amil, whatever that is. So the other young guy tells him, but who on earth gets married these days? So I don't know if we are living in a dream world or our children are living in a dream world, but I really want these young people to read Saaz's book because it's really something out of this world, and they learn so much. They'll really learn to be proud of being Sindhis. because the Sindhis, particularly the Amils, they've done so much in life, you know. They came as migrants from outside Sindh, they came and settled down in Sindh. That time they weren't educated, but slowly they picked up a lot of learning and education, and that's how they were working in the courts of all these the Talmuds and the Kalmoras. These were the princely people, so they started working for them, and then they made Hyderabad was the capital in those days, and for a true-blooded Amil, Hyderabad is the place to be. It is home for them, because Hyderabad, in those days they said even if a girl was expecting a baby, she was sent to Hyderabad, just like we send our daughters to America to get the American citizenship. They were sent to Hyderabad to have the baby, so that they could get that true-blooded Hyderabad, that stamp on them. But later on, of course, Karachi became the capital. The travel distance is just 4 hours. On the way from Karachi to Hyderabad, there was Kotri, and Kotri was famous for the pallo. So the ladies used to step down at Kotri, buy the typical fish, the palla, and feed the families with that. Many interesting snippets of information in Saaz's book. And then many Amils were freedom fighters. They sacrificed so much for their country. But Amils are everywhere. You see any organization you find an Amil there, whether it's IT, whether it's education. Amils are famous for education and constructing the housing societies. And so whether it's education or the judiciary, the armed forces, the environmental programming, protection, and then diplomacy. They were in the entertainment industry, they were into corporates, and they were professionals. So, pick up any field in an Amil will always be there. So this is what makes you proud to be an Amil. And Amils, of course, they all believed in Guru Nanak, but there are many Amils who believe in the Sufi saints and the peers. And Amils were the true feminists. Even before feminism came into being, they were the ones who made the woman feel that she was the nucleus of the household, and women were generally educated. The Amil respected their women. So this is something very important that sets an Amil apart from the others. And Sonia, you're smiling so beautifully at me. We really owe you a big thank you for being such a gracious donor. Help and support, we wouldn't be here today. So thank you so much. And Saaz, of course, how can I not thank you, because you're the person who's really given us this beautiful gift, supposed to be treasured. We're eternally grateful to you. And last but not the least, I should thank the Khudabadi Amil Panchayat for thinking about this and commissioning this. A lot of people ask why it's called the Khudabadi Amil Panchayat and not the Hyderabadi Amil Panchayat. But I think it's written in their website that although the Hyderabadi Amils, they all came from Khudabad. But the reason being, it was quite a mundane reason. One of the bank managers of the Khudabadi Amil bank, cooperative bank, he came with a security bond in the name of the Khudabadi Amil Panchayat. And in those days, of course, money was precious. We were all refugees. So then the Amil Panchayat said, if we can't encash these bonds, we won't get this money. And then they reasoned that because they all came from Khudabad anyway, so let's call this the Khudabadi Amil Panchayat. So this is why it's called CAP. So I'm really grateful to all of you, and thank you so much for inviting me.